benefactors, my family, relatives, and friends. St. Scholastica's College became my second home 39 years ago when my parents brought me here for kindergarten. And for 13 years, on to fourth year high school, I was educated, formed, and nurtured the Benedictine way. We were encouraged, motivated, and mentored by our teachers who are present now to give the best of ourselves in everything that we did, be it in academics, co-curricular, or extracurricular activities. At a young age, we were taught cursive writing, how to write from blue line to another blue line or blue to red line. It seemed that they practiced cursive writing page after page after page. It was a balanced education of living out ora et labora, prayer and work. We learned about Saint Benedict and Saint Scholastica from our choral rendition of Ora et Labora, Mrs. Castillo. In grade school, we had individualized instruction and worked on our SRAs at our own pace. We were prepared very well for our college entrance examinations. We composed haikus and songs, performed Broadway musicals, cooked international dishes, sewn pajamas and blouses, and made hand-dyed shirts. I still remember the wooden house along Segalong side where the McTill building is now, where it stands, where we used to hold our art subjects. In grade school, we had field demonstrations of the entire unit in the field, where our numbers were beautifully choreographed. I do not remember what grade we were at when we were Indians. And when we entered from St. Cecilia's side of the field, we drove away the grade level that performed before us. We played agawan bass, patintero, Chinese garter, and sat along the corridors beside our classrooms playing Chinese jackstones.
Yes.
We went on field trips to Nayong Pilipino, Ayala Museum, Planetarium at Rizal Park, and had a private screening of a movie I could no longer remember at Rizal Theater in Makati, which does not exist anymore. We had our first Holy Communion in the school chapel and had confirmation in our respective parishes. We began and ended our classes, meetings, and activities with a prayer. We had class masses, batch masses, institutional masses, confessions, recollections, and retreats. I had experience of joining the sisters for midday prayer at the school chapel when I was in high school. We worked, prayed, played, and celebrated as a community. Discipline was instilled in us. We were taught proper decorum inside the classroom, on the school grounds, during an assembly in the Little Theater, gym, or St. Cecilia's Hall, masses at the school chapel. Honesty and integrity in our work, cleanliness in our surroundings, returning books and chairs that we used in the library in their proper place, and making order in our classrooms. We cleaned our classrooms with the brooms and rugs that we kept inside our rooms. We grew up with our manongs and manangs who were always there to help us. They were the ones who kept the school grounds clean, made repairs, maintained and preserved our buildings that stands beautifully up to this day. We shared food with our classmates during recess and lunch, and on field trips or excursions, and with our less fortunate brothers and sisters, especially during Christmas. Extended help to those affected by calamities or accidents. I personally experienced the generosity of my classmates and other students in giving my family clothes when our house was destroyed in a fire that started from a neighbor's house. I remember going to Rafael Palma Elementary School, to the Women Correctional, to the Home for the Aged for our outreach activities. We were taught to serve, and this I learned more, as Abu Tarsi said, as a Star Scout all the way to being a cadet in the 4th year high school. This is the legacy of St. Scholastica's College, Manila, that lives on to this very day, sustained by the passion, commitment, and selfless giving of the sisters, administrators, faculty, office, general services, and security personnel, students, parents, alumni, and day mission partners in the School of the Lord's Service. From the humble beginnings of our 5 German missionary Benedictine sisters in Moriones Tondo, they educated and formed their students according to the spirit of Saint Benedict. All of us then who choose to become a part of a Benedictine school commit to following a certain way of life in Christ. Saint Benedict's way of teaching, thinking, speaking, doing, and learning. Enlivened by the spirit of Saint Benedict, we will pursue academic excellence as a social responsibility through the values he espoused in his rule, which we have articulated as our 10 hallmarks of Benedictine education. Christ-centeredness, ora et labora, obedience, humility, community, discipline, hospitality, silence and good speech, stewardship, and service. Let us not forget that our School for the Lord's Service is a community whose way of life is centered on Christ. We are a community of unique individuals, bonded in Christ and for the service of Christ. We strive to live in peace, joy, and love in spite of our differences in personalities, circumstances, needs, and opinions. Together, we build a welcoming and caring community and create a safe and supportive environment that is conducive for teaching, learning, and creating leaders for social transformation. At this point of our country's history, where the culture of vulgarity, violence, and death has become the norm, the prevailing threats to our human rights, especially that of our indigenous brothers and sisters driven from their ancestral lands, extrajudicial killings, persecution and death for those who dare to speak against the administration, the practice of questionable and self-serving government appointments, detrimental international alliances and economic policies, threats to the fundamental law of our land, our freedom of expression and sovereignty as a nation. We will enflesh our academic programs, community involvement, administrative and academic policies and processes with our advocacies of social justice and peace, women empowerment, poverty alleviation, and environmental awareness and care for our environment, our common home. I am truly blessed as I assume the presidency of St. Scholastica's College, Manila, for I will be working with a team of administrators who have shared with me their brilliant, exciting ideas and plans, and members of the school community who are full of energy and dedicated to the fulfillment of the mission and vision of our institution. I hope that we will also have as our strong partners our part-time faculty members. I was a part-time instructor for 8 years, and although I was in campus only twice a week, I felt a strong sense of community not only in our department, but also in the entire institution. I saw to it that I joined the institutional activities if my schedule will allow it. even wearing my Girl Scout uniform as moderator of the Girl Scout Club in high school.